Oh, we're here for Gabe.
Oh, in the kitchen.
You don't have enough money in
Are omitted from the record. As I've stated previously, either put everything in the record or make the minutes completely obtuse, but to do parts of what is up in the discussion, I do not think is fully capturing the record. For example, what's omitted from the record are multiple personal affronts that resulted in multiple points of order being made. None of that is noted in the record, and it is too much to list to add to the minutes at this point.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Costanzo?
No.
Black?
Yes.
Goodland?
Yes.
Osnick? Robertson?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carried 5-1. Audience participation. Remember that, I don't think we need to read it. You have 3 minutes. You need to sign in, state your name, and your address. So,
You gotta go.
the man who requested the windows to be open should go first.
Evening, Council. My name is Kyler Pilnick. I reside at 1428 North Pontiac Trail. I would just like to ask again, since especially we have considerably more people, comments may possibly be made. Other noise other noise may be a little bit of a harder hearing for people that are in the audience, especially even for myself and Mayor Ackley. If we could try a little bit better, especially this time, to make sure we're all talking into the microphones clearly, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Dina Potter, 1856 Meadow Ridge, Wall Place.
Did you sign in?
I will.
Thank you.
I attended the May 21st council meeting and was appalled at the behavior of this council, to say the least. You should all be ashamed of yourselves and your treatment of a fellow council person. It's your job as council members to help the residents understand who, what, when, where, and why you are doing what you do. The residents have trusted you to do what's right, and you have repeatedly proven them wrong with your actions. For example, the blatant salaries given to administration. Mr. Costanzo is the only one that has spoken truth to power and does not have a hidden agenda. In fact, if you think your city manager, in the course of his contract, will probably be paid over $1 million in a city that's crippled financially, you need to look out for the employees that put their lives on the line for the residents, not the administration. You should be sending planning commission and zoning board members to classes offered by the state. This is the city's obligation to those board members to help aid in understanding the laws and how to approach the changes coming to the city. They should be looking to the state for infrastructure grants for Tri-A sub, or at least do some ditch work and culvert cleaning to aid in some of the drainage issues. If you don't listen to anything I've said, and I know you won't, but remember this: a lie doesn't become the truth, wrong doesn't become right, evil doesn't become good just because it is accepted by a majority. And you can't buy your way to heaven, but you can finance your way to hell. There you go.
I would also ask when you come up that you adjust the mic so the mic's not
I think
hitting
they
your
could hear me.
forehead. I think we can all hear a little bit better.
Oh, I think that was cool.
Yes.
My name is Darlene Ciampa, and I live at 1717 Ashcan in Walled Lake. And I would like to read a letter that I posted on social media, and I've sent out to the media as well as to the Michigan Attorney General's office. Dear City Council, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk, as a voting constituent of the City of Walled Lake, this is a notice of my displeasure with the developments and actions taken by the City Council, City Manager, Clerk, and Attorney the past 3 years. Conspiracy and unsubstantiated charges against former City Councilwoman Sue Helke and her subsequent removal from office by City Council. City Manager's guaranteed salary of $160,000 through the year 2023 with a new city vehicle and gas mileage paid. The city's approval of $171,000 of accrued unused vacation time paid to the city manager in the 2017-2018 budget. The lack of progress in restoration of the Tri-A subdivision sewer and roads to mitigate the damage to homes and damaging property values. The city manager's ongoing proposal to withdraw from the Michigan Trailway Agreement with the state of Michigan, Wixom, and Commerce. The lack of responsiveness to the auditor in the audit of the City Council, City of Walled Lake's budget, not responding to the auditor's questions or concerns. The increase in salary for 2 city employees of $5,000 each and an additional 5 weeks of vacation, 100% tuition reimbursement. The 5/21/19 City Council announcement to investigate Councilman Gabe Costanzo for questioning the city's passing of a motion to use $579,300 from the DDA funds to resurface Decker Road. This road is well outside of the DDA geographic map per the 2008 DDA plan. The 5/21/19 City Council investigation into Gabe Costanzo with the purpose of removing him from office against the voters' wishes. This is the second attempt to remove a duly elected city council person from the Walled Lake City Council through accusations and conspiracy. The lack of transparency in the Coes versus City of Walled Lake lawsuit with accusations of conspiracy leveled against the City of Walled Lake regarding marijuana licensing. The city filed a lawsuit against the Michigan Association of Public Employees and will incur enormous legal fees.
Your time is up, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. As a citizen and taxpayer of Walled Lake, we deserve to have these egregious actions reported to local, state, and federal authorities without fear of retribution by the City of Walled Lake under the Whistleblower Protection Act and all statutes afforded to us. I ask the state and federal authorities to fully investigate the facts of this letter through a forensic financial audit and any investigative means necessary to bring the truth and government transparency to the City of Walled Lake. Thank you. I'm done. Just to make sure that all of my letter is captured, I would like to give it to the city clerk. I can leave it here at the podium, but I want to make sure it's captured in the city minute, in the minutes, just in case.
Okay. If you're speaking, and the buzzer goes off, all I ask you is you try to summarize. We'll let you finish what your thought process is, but please try to summarize your statements as soon as you hear it. Yes, the lady in the yellow.
Diane Crone, 139 Welfare Boulevard, Walled Lake, Michigan. I'm here to express my concern about the investigation into Gabe Costanzo related to inappropriate use of the internet and negativity concerning Walled Lake. I have found Gabe to be very positive and capable councilman. His use of the internet, email, texting, and coffee with the councilman allow me a little longer, and probably many people, than 3-minute dialogues simply to express our concerns about what's going on and issues in the city. For me, he was especially helpful in assisting with my feelings about the bike path and my desire for a bike path. I think it's really important. And he is a neighbor, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have never seen he or his beautiful wife, Deborah, on a bicycle. So it isn't really a concern of his, it was a concern of mine. And what I thought was most interesting is, he really researched it, not just about bike paths and what they can do for southeastern Michigan, but he went up north, he went everywhere there was a bike path to find out what was good about a bike path and what it did for a community. And that I just thought was wonderful. And I just want to say that when you're talking about the aesthetics of our community, that is subjective. And I respect our DDA and I respect their opinions. But I also respect Mr. Costanzo and even myself and our opinions of how we think the city might look. And that is just what a democracy is. To have somebody on a council that doesn't agree with the whole council doesn't mean that they are disrespectful to people who are our neighbors also and our friends. It just is how a democracy works. And even in a city of our size, I think all views should be heard, because Mr. Costanzo isn't always coming with his viewpoints, he's coming with our viewpoints. And viewpoints that I know, because I know I've never even seen him hiking, that he's coming with mine. And what I really feel as I watch these investigations is that we are forgetting who we really are and where we came from. And in the words of Abraham Lincoln, I just want to say that democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And I hope
In the orange, orange is red, a little colorblind, I guess.
Hi, Tina Thurston, 1544 Delta. I've already written it in. A few things. First of all, in the past we've tried to have a neighborhood block party, and I've contacted, I think it was Mr. Ambrose, a few times. What do we need to do to block off part of Delta that will not encroach on people getting through the neighborhood, so we can have a safe block party? What do I need to do to get that permission?
Contact Mr.
Police
Costanzo.
department.
Police chief.
All right. Secondly, my neighbors asked me to come tonight to ask. In the letter, Mr. Robertson said the millage will be taken care of in the, or, go about in the future. What future? This year? Next year? The year after? That's something we'd like answered. Maybe at the next council meeting, somebody can let us know. And third, I'm not going to go into everything that someone's already said, because we all feel this way. We're all wearing red. Mr. Witt called me a tough broad after one of the meetings not too long ago. He shook my hand and said, "You are one tough broad." And I am. And I won't take that as an insult, but I grilled him when he showed up at my door. In my pajamas and robe, he knocked, and I stood there and I grilled him because I've not been happy with this council. I know you can't make us all happy. I know there are things you're going to have to do that some of us will not like, and that is fine. But I have come to a few meetings, and I'm guilty, I can't make it. I have a special needs kiddo, and I don't have a babysitter, and a husband that works about 80 hours a week. But I have watched the mayor, I have watched Mr. Ambrose, I have watched Mr. Witt disrespect Councilman Costanzo. Blatantly and rudely. And I don't care how you feel about him, but as a member of this community, I'm disgusted and I'm shocked that you can't hide the disdain or the disrespect. I don't have to tell you that I don't support this investigation. I don't think Mr. Witt should be in charge of this.
Amen.
The allegations aren't quite clear to us what he's being investigated about, and I do feel we have the right to know that. He has said he doesn't agree with the DDA using it outside the parameters. What's wrong with that? we feel the same way. We'd like a nicer downtown, and we would like one without a pot shop next to by our beach.
Amen.
What has he done? We would like to know, and we have a right to know, as people who have voted you in and out, what the allegations are. And if he has done something incorrect, I've seen it with Susan. If he's done something incorrect, then he needs to be brought out, censure him, publicly shame him in front of us and say, you've done this, this, and this, and this is outside your scope of what you're allowed to do. It's just not okay. And there's an election coming up in November. And I think we will, our voices will be heard. Thank you.
To go up there?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know.
We prefer that, so we can hear you.
I'm obviously a mother. I have 3 children, so she needs to be up here. But my name is Lori Matheson. I live at 1152 South Eddy. I'm going to call him Gabe because I feel like he's become my friend since coming to my home. When he, I believe it was 2016 if I'm right, when he ran for councilman. I go to all the events. I went to Walled Lake Schools. I have lived here maybe longer than all of you, I don't know. I've lived here a very long time. My dad grew up here. My dad went to Walled Lake High School. I feel like I represent probably a little more history than others. So what I would like to say is I support Gabe. He is at every event. He talks to my kids. He listens to me. He understands that this town used to be amazing. People used to come from all over to go to the the amusement park, the casino, the dance hall. Now we have pot shops. I don't want my kids around that. My kids go to the schools. We don't have a community center. We don't have a community pool. We don't have things around here. I go to the concerts in the park, which are wonderful, but guess who's not there? You all. No one is there, except for Gabe. So when I read in the spinal column that Gabe's being investigated, I am a voter, and I just wonder, why is this person being investigated when he is the most active one out there of all of you? I voted for some of you, but I am looking into all of you, and I represent the moms. I'm in the school, I'm in the PTA, I am everywhere, and I would like to see massive changes. Even how this construction was done, I can't get to the library with my daughter without parking over here for story time. And I talked to the librarians. I'm like, what happened to the parking lot? They're like, the council. So I feel like there needs to be a lot more transparency. You need to understand that there are a lot of citizens in here that are very upset, that have young families, pay our taxes, and we are watching you. You need to lay off of Gabe and start thinking about, what are you doing for this town? What are you doing? What are you doing to make it better? What are you doing to make it better for my 3 kids? What are you doing? That's what I'd like to know. Honestly, I would love an answer from all of you, because I feel like there is none. And then how embarrassing that our city is the city that's like, oh, the airline trail, let's stop it in Walled Lake. Let's do it in Commerce. They have a great bridge, and then over there in Novi, Wixom, whatever, go ahead. But then Walled Lake, come on. It's just, from my point of view, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I support Gabe. I will fight with Gabe. I will go for battle with Gabe. I'll go to court with Gabe. But all of you should really start thinking, who's watching? Because it's me and it's the moms, and we're watching you. Okay? Yeah.
Good job.
We love you. This is good.
Breathe deep.
Already signed in. Okay, my name is Rick Greenwell. I live at 395 North Walled Lake Drive, and I have some concerns. The following facts can be found on the Oakland County website, social media, and newspaper articles. Concern number 1 is quorums of former council people and/or the mayor that may have been taking place outside of scheduled council meetings. This may be a violation of the Open Meetings Act. It's something that should be considered. Concern number two is, I would like to know about the cameras that were up here last meeting. I don't know what that was. My questions are, whose cameras were they? Who authorized their use? What was the purpose of them? Why did Mr. Costanzo have an additional microphone hooked up to his mic? And who paid for these services? Concern number three. Found pictures on the internet showing a Walled Lake chipping crew doing work down at Casey's, and that's a private business. And I don't believe we do chipping for private businesses. We do it for residents only. And I think this is a serious conflict of interest, or at least a serious ethics violation. And that should be looked into.
Investigated. Investigated, yeah, that's right.
My fourth concern are the lawsuits. What is going on? How many lawsuits do we got? I found 3 so far, and I have some information on that. The first lawsuit has charges of fraudulent misrepresentation and silent fraud. The plaintiff is Coyas. The defendants are the City of Walled Lake, Mayor Ackley, and City Manager Witt, and others. The second lawsuit has charges of injunction relief and defamation, and the plaintiffs in that case are Eric Jones, Fleming, Yatuma, and Borowitz, and Coyas. The defendants in that case are the City of Walled Lake and City Manager Witt. They're seeking over $1 million in damages on that one. These lawsuits could financially ruin this city. And I had not heard that much information from this board in any of your meetings. But it's out there, it's public knowledge. The third lawsuit involves City Manager Witt suing the union on the city's behalf over a couple of small amount grievances. This should easily have been handled in-house. I don't know why it wasn't. Now it's becoming a big deal, apparently. My fifth concern is that our city charter requires that the city manager has to reside in the city. I understand that the state laws say otherwise. However, I do believe that our bylaws should be upheld as they have been in other matters. The lavish salary and benefits that he receives from the City of Walled Lake and his decision not to live here seems to indicate clearly to me that he has no vested interest in our city.
Amen.
And I think that's a shame.
Yep.
Amen.
Last meeting, well, I'll just say this, I have to be honest here, I think we're investigating the wrong people on council.
Yes.
Okay, is there anyone else? Lady in gray on the left? You.
Okay, I'm not always able to come to the council meetings, but I also, like you, I have young kids at home, so I do watch whoever's.
Could you give us your name and address?
I'm sorry, Jennifer Mace, I'm 919 Bluffton.
Thank you.
Okay. So what I understood about the Gabe thing is that he disagrees with the DDA and he wants the money to go to the Tri-A sub instead of Decker, which personally I don't agree with it, but I don't think it should go to Decker either. I want it to go to downtown. I want this to be developed. I want, you know, a community center would be great, a pool, something for to bring in young families and to bring your investment. We need to get these vacant properties developed. I think the DDA should be spending their money and their time and their efforts on developing that, bringing somebody in, doing something about that. The school property, the Pepinos property. That is where we have opportunity. And this is going to bring people into the city. Okay, I have a lot of stuff, so. The DDA, you know, I'm not sure what he said, that, but what I understood, it was just that he doesn't agree with them, and he's stated it on media. And if this is, I mean, I believe somebody said he was demonizing them. I mean, really? Like, that's kind of, I don't know. So, I think that if this is, they shouldn't be wasting the city manager's time too. If this is proven that he just stated his opinion and this is, you know, if it is against the council, then that's fine. But, you know, the city manager has better things to do than to investigate and, you know.
No, I don't.
Not this city manager.
Okay.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon.
I got involved because of the Trailway Council, and so I am requesting that you decide on this. I feel like this has been ridiculous. They're paving it, and you're still deciding whether you want to be in it or not. The reason you said that you didn't want to be in it was because these other cities, they have more taxes coming in, and we have a bigger portion, but it is in our city. If my neighbor makes more money than me, I'm not gonna ask him to, mow my lawn or build a fence. We're not gonna pay for Commerce's bridge when they need repairs. So I'm not sure what that is, and I hope about the train station. I hope he jumped on that, I think it was somebody offered to refurbish it. I hope that's what's best for the city. You might not like it, or I'm not sure what you would have a problem with it, but, we need to jump on that, and that will save the city a lot of money. They also said about going back to the DDA, somebody stated that they have college degrees. Sorry, I'll wrap it up. They have college degrees, so they know what they're talking about. That is not always true. I'll just say that. Okay, and yeah, I guess I just like, a little bit better in the city, and I want to move forward. Thank you.
Yes. Lady, I couldn't see that tonight. Okay.
My name is Marilyn Boylan. I'm at 761.
Please pull the mic down.
Could you pull the mic down?
761 Wall Lake.
What'd you say your name was?
Marilyn Boylan.
Thank you.
I felt like I had to get up. I know that there are many, many people here who are in support of Gabe. We moved here in 2011, so we're not old-time people, but I have started to try and get to the council meetings, and I've been to about 4 of them in the last year. I have watched, and I have to agree that I've been shocked at some of the treatment of Gabe. Sarcasm and stuff like that, there's no place for that. It's just not professional. I did bring up one time before that my feeling is, and I don't know about other people talking here, my feeling is that I've got all these faces looking at me, I'm talking, and nobody's saying anything. And I realize this is your policy, but it didn't used to be that way. Okay, so we come up, we say something, and obviously it hasn't been very positive tonight. However, later on in the session, you're going to be talking about other things, and we have no chance to say anything. We can't voice our opinion. I don't feel that that's democracy. I feel that you need to have feedback. I go with my family and I say, okay, let's all get together and put our heads together and try to solve a problem. And I feel that you guys you're trying to do this yourself. I don't know, you're trying to do it your own way or what, but the more heads you have, the more input you have, it's better for everybody. So it's not all thrown on your shoulders. It could be somebody out here who maybe doesn't have a degree, but somebody out here maybe has some idea. And all of a sudden, whoa, I didn't think about that. That would be great for the city. So, good luck, Gabe. I respect the heck out of you.
Okay, all right. Oh, we do have one more.
My name is Marilyn Kurokoff. I live at 260 Gilmore, and I just want to talk about the what's going on in Tri-A right now. They are digging these holes now. They're not putting anything around for to any protection around the holes. Well, the children are out of school right now and they can fall in. I have videos of I took videos of the holes that you can see it. If you'd like me to show it to you, I can show you. Casey was there. He saw them. Mr. was there yesterday, he saw the holes. So, I mean, you saw them.
7 o'clock last night.
There's no,
Councilmember and I were
That
going
wasn't
through.
protected. I mean, they had all.
it's not protected. Do you want me to show it to you? I mean, I showed it to a lot of the people.
Well, it must have been a different one than I was looking at.
You can see it, they're on Delta, and they're not, you can see there's no protection, and you're can get along. Except for
It's her
large.
3 minutes.
That's what you're supposed to do.
You're not supposed to be answering her. It's her 3 minutes.
You still got time.
I'm done.
She-
Finished?
No, I was out.
No,
She's right, she's right.
You interrupted her with. No, you don't need to
I was
respond.
looking at the issues, it was 7 o'clock last night, we spoke.
It was 10 to 7.
It was what?
It was 10 to 7.
At night, we were out there, Casey Ambrose, the DDA chairman, was checking Tri-A, so was I. He was going in a different way, we met up. There were issues that she brought up that are real, and we're dealing with that. We are contractors, so we're not there every day, so it was.
Well, I'm out there every day too, and I'm gonna be taking pictures every single day.
And that's good, but she's right on some of that. Not everything was dangerous, but it is, we need to pay attention. So she's right. So last night, 7 o'clock.
Because I walk every day, and the lawns are tore up, and everything is.
I'm going to give a little report later, if you're still around here, about the Tri-A thing and where we are on it, and the issues we got. That was going to be one of them.
Okay, is there anyone else? Okay, I didn't see anyone, so let's close audience participation and we'll go to council. Does anyone have a report that they'd like to give tonight?
I do, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Last week, I attended the Michigan Airline Trailway Council meeting. It was another very productive meeting. Everybody has seen the development of the trail. Right now they're in the process of doing the fine grading, and the paving is going to start in early July, so very good progress on that. Our account has earned another $10,000 in interest income to our account, so that's another very positive. There has been reports of vehicles using the trail, which is very concerning. That was discussed because with the fine grading, it could damage it and delay the project. So it's something we need to watch out for. If anybody sees it, to call the authorities and let them know that the trail is being used by vehicles. That's it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
And in addition to that, on the actual trail too, both parties from the neighboring communities are waiting to get approval from their councils in regards to the agreement, okay? And the agreement is not that Walled Lake is pulling out. It's what they're gonna do is they're gonna split the responsibilities equally amongst all three. So, say for instance, when the depot gets done, Walled Lake is not on the hook for the 100% of the depot. It will be funded to the other communities. So that's what they're trying to get rectified as far as what wasn't in the original agreement, okay? So that was that part of it. So it is moving along, and they're gonna get back to us. They apologize that it's taken them so long to get approval from their councils, but they're coming back with it. Right, Gabe? Yeah. That's what they're saying. They want to get it done too. Because we have a group that's interested in doing the depot. So it's looking very favorable. We have another group that's looking at actually dismantling the old portion, which nothing can be done with anyways, and moving it to a historic site where they have other depots. And we have some local businesses that are interested in doing an actual build-out replica of the old depot, all done in modern times. So that's that. Okay, also too, we had the Lake Board meeting this week. That was on.
It says reimbursement for, and it's blank. What would this be a reimbursement for?
Fill in the blank.
I think you're referring to Bennett Lublin reimbursement. Those are the Adirondack chairs. And also, I collected some money from some businesses that paid the Walled Lake teachers, the art teachers, in reimbursement for their supplies. So
Why wasn't that in there?
This was not payments, they were reimbursed.
Be better, Councilman, to whom I serve and who elected me, you people in front of me.
We support you, Gabe.